you don't know, you damn well should know. My name is ragreynolds, and I wasn't planning on making this video until I woke up this morning and found that Onision had deleted a tweet that he had posted last night before he made his video. So basically this whole thing blew up over Twitter between Onision, the girl he was dating, Billie, and her best friend Ayalla. This whole war went back and forth. Onision, every tweet basically revealing how petty he was and how much of a horrible person he actually is. So I woke up and I discovered Onision had uploaded a video on the situation, which I'll get to in a second. But in this video he displays a bunch of tweets and what happened on Twitter. And I thought, wait a minute, there is one key tweet missing that I specifically remember that Billie told you was too far. And this one tweet alone blows your entire narrative out of the water. Because the reason you say you broke up with Billie was because she was smoking weed, which was an illegal drug in her state. Now, the rest of the time you're trying to say that you have no problem with weed, and that it's only because it's an illegal drug. Well, this tweet that you've deleted contradicts that entirely. And it shows how horrible you are. And the reason I have it screenshotted is because I was actually screenshotting and showing it to your tweets to some people on my forums. As you can see here, someone made a topic on my forums about you, and we were talking about this drama. So I had a screenshot of this. And here is the screenshot now, as you can see on screen. And you said, "I wish people could overdose on pot. Far less druggy scumbags in the world." If you really were for marijuana and your whole thing was just against illegal drugs, then why did you say this? You're essentially wishing death on your ex just because she smokes pot. This is one of the worst things I've ever seen you say. I mean, I agree with a lot of the stuff you say, I disagree with a lot of the stuff you say, but this is disgusting. And to make it even worse, you deleted it. So you know that this tweet destroyed your narrative. You know that this tweet was wrong. You have specifically deleted this tweet. I checked because I found Billie's tweet that said too far, and I saw, oh, there is no longer a tweet she's replying to. She is just sending too far to your account rather than having the this tweet above it. I checked through your tweets. It's not there. It's gone. So now I would like to just respond to some of the video that Onision made.
What's up? We went through another breakup, and I actually wasn't planning on making a video about this.
You weren't planning on making a video? Sure you weren't. You make videos on everything, Greg. And I mean, you already did make a video about breaking up over weed a couple of days ago, so I don't know if this is the exact same breakup or whatever, but you were going to make this video either way.
Anyway, first off, let's check out the penalties for marijuana use in the state of Virginia.
Oh, hold on. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to check out the penalties and the laws against alcohol use in Saudi Arabia. Oh, look at this. It can include time in prison and or a public flogging? Wow. There have also been instances of people arriving in Saudi Arabia and being detained because they smelled of alcohol. You know what, Greg? Alcohol is an illegal drug in Saudi Arabia. So if someone drinks alcohol in Saudi Arabia, are they a scumbag? Are they a horrible criminal like you're saying Billie is for smoking pot in her state?
If you have a half ounce up to 5 pounds, you could spend up to 10 years in prison. Okay, so logically you probably wouldn't want to date anyone who uses marijuana, considering in the state of Virginia, they could get thrown in jail for a very long time. Just in case you didn't know, a half ounce looks like this.
You obviously don't know anything about marijuana because most people who smoke pot are not going to be carrying around that amount of weed with them. That's quite a lot. And you know, most of the time, the police don't just arrest you and put you in jail. Most of the time they'll look the other way, they'll fine you, they'll whatever. They're not going to throw you in jail suddenly because you had a joint on you.
Okay, so now you may understand why I personally dumped Billie for committing a crime in the state of Virginia.
No, I don't.
Here's the contract I proposed. I said, hey beautiful people, here's our contract we all agree to. 1, always be honest. 2, never let jealousy negatively impact our relationship. 3, never use manipulative language. 4, never partake in illegal activity. 5, express all issues that come up directly with the person we have an issue with. 6, do our very best to stay positive. If you agree, please respond with I agree. And we're all of course very good with this contract. This was December 22nd.
What kind of sane human being proposes a contract in their relationship to keep it stable.
The only way we would take her back is if she would avoid illegal drug users for a year, with the exception of holidays. Now, Billie and Ayalla will rephrase that and say, oh, I tried to keep her from seeing her family. And that's because a good portion of Billie's family members are illegal drug users.
The reason you're saying it is because you don't want her to see her friend Ayalla. You've already said this in a past video. You said something along the lines of, we will only take you back if you agree to never speak to the person that convinced you to leave our house that day, or something along those lines. So to me it sounds like you've got a personal vendetta against Ayalla, and you just don't want Billie to see Ayalla at all. And by saying, do not see illegal drug users, that kind of sounds like a way of you manipulating Billie into never seeing Ayalla again, which is a pretty horrible fucking thing to do.
As Billie admits here, for just this year you would only see illegal drug users on the holidays. She asked me why I keep wording it like that, and I say because this is not about family, it is about legal drug users. Saying your family distracts from the point. She says, but my family smokes. Well, you know what? That's not my problem.
You know, that kind of is your problem, because you know that her family smokes. You know that her best friend smokes. You telling her, no, I don't want you to see any illegal drug users. Who else are you talking about? You know specifically who those illegal drug users are. You're specifically basically saying you do not get to see your family, you do not get to see your best friend. And if you didn't really know who that her family or her friends were smoking, then sure, maybe I could understand where you're coming from. But you know, Billie, you know who smokes and who she's around that smokes. So don't try and give this bullshit that it's all about illegal drugs. It's about you controlling her life.
I made it very clear to Billie that I was going to buy her a car. Despite her almost being 20, she still doesn't know how to drive, so I was going to teach her how to drive. I was going to pay for her cosmetology school. I was going to pay to fix her teeth. I already paid off her medical debts. I even hired her for quite a few months to do some work for me. That amounted to almost $10,000, and you know what she did with that money? She spent it on makeup, gas, and weed. Is that a good decision maker?
What do you mean does that sound like a good decision maker to you? She can spend her money on whatever she wants to spend her money on. If you want to spend it on your fucking anime porn or whatever, then you go do that. You can spend your money on what you want. It doesn't make you a bad or a good decision maker. You're trying to make out that you're such a nice guy and doing all this stuff for her. Meanwhile, all it sounds like to me is that you were trying to use all these different ways to try and control her life even more. Oh, now she's working for you, so her entire source of income depends on you. That means you're controlling her income essentially. Oh, you're gonna buy her a car, so now she's kind of owing you all these different debts that you're now going to cash in. It's like when you had that whole fallout with Sear and you started bringing up all these bills that he hadn't paid for meals or whatever, and he didn't do this, but you paid all this money. In a friendship or a relationship, you give whatever you give. You shouldn't give and expect anything back. You're giving because you want to give. You're acting like, in all of these situations, that these people owe you something. They don't.
And then she tried to say, oh, I quit my job for you guys. And my immediate response is, dude, I paid you more than your job would have paid you.
I'm sure you may have paid her more, but she was now indebted to you. You were now essentially controlling her income.
This isn't about weed, it's about committing crimes.
Okay, well let's just flash this screenshot again.
If she was here in Washington State and she was 21, it's not really any of my business whether or not she gets high. I even offered for her to get high in a separate building of ours, as it would be legal, so clearly no one be negatively impacted and wouldn't hurt anyone. That is how actually chill I am with legal marijuana.
Then please explain your deleted tweet where you're talking about how you wish you could overdose from pot, because it just doesn't line up with what you're saying.
To be blunt, she's a beautiful woman, and obviously if she looked like her ugly friend Ayalla, we would not have put up with her this long. I'm sorry, that's a little bit too much of blunt truth, but that's the way it is.
You are fucking horrible. You're disgusting, you know that? It's bad enough that you're even making this video attacking Billie and calling her a liar and all this other nonsense, but now you're bringing in Billie's friend to it and calling her ugly and horrible. How low can you get?
I did, however, give her a chance to repair the relationship, and I proposed a number of things. The first thing, because we obviously can't trust her around weed, was that we not go around illegal drug users for a year. And that, of course, seems reasonable to most people, I would assume.
No, that is not reasonable.
Of course, this was a problem for her because her friend Ayalla is even on Twitter bragging about committing crimes right now. She retweeted someone hitting up a bong. Congratulations, people with the maturity level of a 13-year-old. You really showed me by videotaping yourself committing crimes.
Onision, you of all people are talking about maturity level. You're the 31-year-old with the maturity of a 14-year-old, Greg. What are you talking about?
Talking about me asking Billie to get a fake tan, dye her hair green, and shave off her eyebrows. That's right, I asked people to do some crazy shit in relationships to prove that they actually care. And she's talking about another time that Billie betrayed us. You see, Billie just keeps fucking people over, and she knows she can get away with it because she's pretty.
The most compelling thing here, it really intrigues me, is that I don't think you're a liar for the most part. You do, as you say, you tell the truth most of the time. But you're telling the truth about horrible things you've tried to do or say. You're not denying these things. Instead, you're just justifying them. And for some reason, all of your brainwashed fans are just going to stand by your side anyway. And you know it.
I have 0 weeds in my possession. Oh my god, you just don't get it. You think people plan on getting caught by the cops? No, fact is, cops a lot of times get people when they least expect it. Like for instance, if people decided to hit up Billie's house and find a shitload of legal weed in there, because apparently everyone in the household illegally smokes it, I guess everyone's going to jail for around 10 to 25 years.
That's another horrible thing you've just done. You've basically just publicly outed her family, and her house is probably having a bunch of weed in it. If you really cared about these people, if you cared about this person, you wouldn't be saying stuff like that. Now, I'm done directly responding to this video. It's a 12-minute video and I'm not going to respond to it all, but there is 1 or 2 other things I do want to bring up. And the first thing that you do mention later on in this video is you talk about how Billie has complained about you invading her privacy with videos like this. And you try to justify what you've done by saying, oh look, there's this video of Billie and Ayalla on you now talking about this, so really she doesn't care and she's just trying to make things up or whatever. That was one time. That was right at the very start when you first broke up, the first part of drama. That happened, that video on YouTube of the broadcast is only like 12 minutes on its own or something. And they don't say very much. In fact, they're constantly saying some nice things about you. Billie's constantly saying, Greg and Lainey are really nice people. And then someone tries to talk about your kid and she's like, don't talk about this kid. And she's defending you the whole time. She's not even being horrible. And I've watched some of Billie's later broadcasts, and anytime someone brings up anything to do with you or Lainey or anything, even when she was with you, she would ignore it in the chat. She would read everything out loud, she would respond to questions, but if it involved you, involved Lainey or anything like that, she did not even address it. And to me that's mad respect to Billie for that, keeping what should be private. But anyway, I don't want this video to get absolutely too long, that's why I didn't respond to the entire thing. I just wanted, my main point in making this video was just to show this screenshot and explain how this Onision deleted this tweet from his Twitter, and it essentially blows his whole argument right out of the water. His whole argument means nothing without this, with this tweet in play, and that's why he deleted it. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, then please hit a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And right here, is Onision worse than a child molester? Is Billie worse than a child molester? Down here we're going to have some random video, I don't know what it's going to be yet, and the other is best suited for you. You are welcome, society.